Hi everyone, Grant for the Flame Learning channel. In the previous video, you learned how to create keyframe animations in the animation editor. We covered curve and keyframe selection, as well as automatic and manual keyframing within the context of the editor. In this video, you'll learn about shaping an animation by adjusting curve interpolation and keyframe tangents. I'm picking up from the previous video, but if you'd like to follow along, just use a simple graphic to create a few animation curves like mine, and you're good to go. So picking up from where we left off, there is a horizontal animation as well as a rotation animation on this graphic. The keyframes were set over time, and Flame is working out the animation between the keyframes. The calculation between the keyframes is what we call interpolation. Now the default interpolation that Flame is using is called Bezier. This means the animation starts off slowly, speeds up to a regular speed, and then slows down as it approaches the next keyframe. If you wanted the curve to have a consistent straight line between the keyframes, you go to the Interpolation pull-down menu and change the setting to linear. So the calculations between the keyframes will be consistent. If you wanted the linear interpolation to be your default setting, you would open up the Flame Preferences, go to the General tab, and change the setting under the animation header. So you can create animation with a default interpolation, or if you had already created a keyframe animation like this, you can change the interpolation between keyframes at any time. Looking at the pull-down menu, there are a few other interpolation methods you can choose from. We've already discussed linear, which calculates a consistent adjustment between keyframes, and we've also discussed Bezier, which creates a curved animation between keyframes. You can also tell the channel to hold its current value until it gets to a new keyframe. So by selecting constant, each keyframe locks its current value, and you get a step-like animation. Finally, the last two types of interpolation are Hermite and natural. These also calculate smooth curve animations similar to Bezier. However, the difference between them is the mathematical calculation in creating the curves. Just choose the interpolation that works best for your animation. Now you might have noticed that every time you changed the interpolation, it affected the whole curve. If you just wanted to affect specific keyframes, you hold Ctrl and draw a box selection over the keyframe. You can also use Shift Ctrl to add additional keyframes to the selection. When you change the interpolation, only selected keyframes are affected. So there is no limitation with mixing interpolations between keyframes on the same animation channels. It's all controlled through selection. If you reselect the channel, the interpolation settings are currently mixed, but you can switch the entire curve to something else if you want. Now the next subject I'd like us to focus on is the keyframe tangents. I'm referring to these little handles that appear on keyframes when using any of the smoothing interpolations such as Bezier, Natural, and Hermite. The interpolation will calculate the smoothness of the curve, but you can use the tangents to change the shape of the curve to further refine your animation. So you could slow things down even more, or speed things up between keyframes. Now the tangents are currently locked together. This means that as you adjust one handle, it has an equal effect on the opposite. This normally ensures a smooth transition between keyframes on the curve. However, there are times where you may want to break the tangents for certain animations. To do this, click the Tools pull-down menu and choose Break Tangents. Next, click on the keyframe and the tangent handles go from a solid to a dotted line. When you switch back to Select using the Tools pull-down menu, you can now grab each handle individually and adjust the curve to your liking. If at any point you wish to reconnect the tangent handles, just switch back to Break Tangent and click on the keyframe. The handles go back to a solid line. Switching back to Select, the next time you grab the tangent, both handles will adjust together again. As a tip, if you have adjusted the tangents and you wish to reset them back to the default horizontal position, you can do this in one of two ways. The first way is to go to the Tools pull-down menu and choose Auto Tangent. Now go ahead and click on a tangent handle. This allows you to reset individual handles if you want to keep one side but not the other. So using this tool, you need to click each handle to reset the whole tangent. However, if you want to reset both tangent handles at once, just click the Tangents pull-down menu and choose Auto. The tangents return to their initial horizontal position, but this will not change whether the tangents are broken or combined. To combine or break the tangents, you use the Break Tangent tool as shown earlier. In the next video on animation, you'll go through some of the additional tools in the Tools pull-down menu to give you extra control when adjusting keyframes in the animation editor. Comments, feedback, and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Please subscribe to the Flame Learning channel and click the bell to be notified for future videos. Thanks for watching and hope to see you soon.